Hey y'all, what's happening? Robert Kennedy III, RK3, and my man SCC in the house.
How y'all doing today?
Awesome, man. How you doing?
Man, I'm grateful. You know, every day is a joy to behold because, like I say all the time, I'm here and I know someone else did not make it, so I have nothing to complain about.
Nice.
Yes, sir.
Nice. It's hard to. Today's December 1st, dude. I mean, this has wow. This has it's been a year, right? It's felt really long, but you look up and you're like, wow, we're at December 1st because I remember clearly. I remember clearly all of the different things that people were saying about 2020 year of vision, and it seemed really hopeful for a lot of people, and then a lot of stuff happened.
But see, I think it was yesterday you were talking about different milestones in society, the plagues and HIV and all these different things that have hit the world. And I would have never ever thought that I would have been a part of history, because we're all a part of history whether we realize it or not, generally. But more specifically because of COVID-19. And this is something that you seem to only read about in history books. Yet we're at the 9-month mark, and it's like, wow, we've been really, it's just amazing to me. It's just amazing.
Yep. So what's happening today, man? We've got this topic. We've been talking about authority and influence for the last couple of weeks here, man. And
yes, sir.
We've been kind of talking about the messes that we've gotten ourselves into. We've been talking about the mistakes that we've made. And we've been kind of doing this thing where we've planned for the vacation, and we've been exploring the journey to the vacation. We packed our bags, but we haven't yet talked about what happens after the vacation. Right? After the trip.
Good point. And I think that's important, because a lot of times it's great to get ready for your trip, your destination, wherever it may be. You may even get excited about the bags you're going to use to carry, which in our case, the tools or the resources that you're going to use to get to that end result. And that is exciting. The anticipation obviously is exciting. But what's more exciting to me is when you have accomplished or achieved your goal, you reach that milestone because you put in the work. So I'm looking forward to jumping into today's conversation based on that mindset.
Yeah, man, I love it. I think one of the things, I actually sent an email to my mastermind group today because I was just really considering the end of the year and what I need to do to really launch into 2021. And I had to be honest with myself. I was overthinking some things, or in some cases, I was doing too many things. And I was reading this article where it was talking about, it went back to Simon Sinek's TED Talk about how great leaders inspire action, right? And one of the things that it was talking about, deciding what your core offer or what your core services are going to be. And a lot of businesses do that, but a lot of them also do not sit down and rediscover why. They don't sit down and reconnect with why. And, it kind of had this, it resonated with me because I kind of had to sit for a second and say, okay, have I mean, I know why it's on my wall, but have I reconsidered it? Have things changed? Have things adjusted? Have things pivoted in any way that has caused me to have to look at that again and revisit it? So let me actually read this thing here. It was talking about the approach that Apple took, versus other things, and it was like, Simon Sinek says, if Apple was like everybody else, its marketing message might sound like beautifully designed and simple to use and user friendly. Want to buy a computer? And then he says, Apple started to communicate like this. They said, everything we do, in everything we do, we believe in challenging this by making our products beautifully designed.
So that means I hadn't making a solid decision,
Yeah.
and I allowed the comfort to be my guide versus the discussion and the decision that I had made about doing some other things more important. So the priority, my priorities were not in line with that particular idea and flow. Wow.
Yeah.
So with that being said, I mean, I'm going to ask you, what are some of the things you see for yourself, as it relates to, having the authority and the influence, what are the benefits, from your perspective?
Yeah. So, I mean, we can talk about business, we can talk about all sorts of things, but I think about authority, I think about influence from its core place in my life, and that is the place where I spend most of my time, the people that I talk to the most, the people that I have the closest relationship with, and that is my family, right? And so what does influence mean in my family? What are the benefits of influence for me in my family? Well, one of the benefits for influence is trust for me, right? If I'm able to have the way that I have influence is by being trustworthy. But when I then have influence, I have the trust of the people that are close to me. And so when things come up, they kind of lean their ears in, and they want my input. They want me to contribute to that. Right. And so I could just plow ahead and do what I feel like, right, at any time without worrying about whether I have influence or not. But if I do have influence, then it causes that connection, that trust, that communication. They lean their ears in a little bit and say, "Hey, daddy. Hey, son. Hey, husband. Hey, Robert. Hey, Bobby. Whoever you are." Right.
Right.
What do you think?
That's so powerful right there, because that was something that I had written down for myself as well. Even though it's true in the family dynamic, it should be true, in my opinion. It should be true even in the business dynamic, because these are people that are coming to us for our experience, for our expertise, and for our guidance. So if they come to us, they are trusting that we have the answers or the know-how or both to help them decide where it is that they need to be and how it is that they can get there, even if it's multiple options. Sense of accomplishment. There's nothing like, it's kind of funny. I'll put it on some of my past experiences. In my past, I was a substance abuser, and I couldn't get out of my own way. And one of the things that really stood out of all the things I did in coming back to, quote unquote, what's considered normal, I heard one of these senior counselors say, "You know what the problem is with y'all? Y'all make decisions at the spur of the moment, and you don't finish anything." And I said, wow. And I had to look at myself from the inside and realize I dabble at this, I dabble at that.
Wow.
But the only thing I'm doing consistently is dysfunction. I'm consistent with dysfunction, but I want more, but I'm not doing what it takes to get more. So a sense of accomplishment is such a fulfilling experience and emotion to hold on to, because again, you'll find, in my opinion, I always say that because I don't want people to think that this has to be, or it's guaranteed to be this way for them. In my opinion, when you do get that sense of accomplishment, it's not so much about the money. I'm talking about the investment, and I'm talking about the money on the back end that you're making because of your product, because of your service, because you can appreciate how you have grown. That growth factor, second to none, Robert.
Yeah, I don't know if you watch this show, but I was watching This Is Us, like the latest episode with my wife this week, and one of the things that happened in one of the main characters, the dad. His name is Jack Pearson, and he talked about when he was a kid, and his dad used to call him Jack of all trades. And at first, he thought that was a compliment because he was like, "Yeah, I'm good at a lot of things. I'm good at a lot of things." And then one day he had to go into the kitchen to fix something. There was something wrong with a pipe, and his dad said, "Why don't you go fix it?" And he went in and he was trying to fix it and he couldn't. His dad came in and he said, "Oh my gosh, Jack of all trades, master of none." Right? And he was like, when my dad said that for the first time, I recognized that Jack of all trades wasn't a compliment. It wasn't
Right.
this thing that meant that I was really good at all these different things. Is there, and so the point was, is there something that I can stick to? Is there something that I can focus on? Is there somewhere where I can create expertise? Right?
Yeah.
Is there somewhere where I can wield influence because I am so knowledgeable. I'm seen as the expert in that space. I was talking to George Fraser about a couple of years ago, and one of the things he said that, and I've heard other people say this before, but the way he said it just kind of really stuck with me. And he was like, "Do you want to be a mile wide and an inch deep, or would you rather be an inch wide and a mile deep?" Right? So as you think about influence, as you think about authority, as you think about business, as you think about life, and as you think about customers and what they want,
Yeah.
do they want, someone who knows everything, a little bit of everything, or do they want an expert who has a deep knowledge, a deep expertise, so that if anything happens in their space or in their life in that specific area,
Yeah.
they can really help them navigate that in a big way.
You're so right, because a subject matter expert is someone that you're the go-to guy no matter what.
Yeah.
If you're the in your industry or in your profession and the word gets out, trust me, what is it about you can give a man a fish or you can teach him how to fish?
Yeah.
Man, oh man, what a difference a day makes.
Yeah.
Another thing I was thinking about, like the benefits of having that authority and influence, and it may sound similar to the sense of accomplishment, but it's confidence. One of the things I talk about is the importance of a healthy self-esteem and leadership. And when you have that level of confidence because you have accomplished something, hey Reba, how you doing? When you have that level of confidence, nothing can compare to that, because your self-esteem is much healthier. It's satisfying internally. You wear it physically, you wear it internally. What can be better than one feeling good about who they are and the mountain that they have conquered? You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I want to kind of add to that. After we have gained the confidence, after we have gained trust, after we have gained that influence or that level of expertise, there is this other piece. There's this other thing that happens, right? Especially if you are an entrepreneur and in business. Did you leave me, man? So that's okay. I'll carry on without you, Sir Charles. There's this other thing that happens, and that other thing that happens is sales. There's this, you if you have more authority and more influence, you that naturally ends up in selling. Right. So they say that people do business, or people buy from people they know, like, and trust. Right. So if I'm not selling something, or if I'm not improving or increasing sales in business, at least over long term, because certain people can have sales tricks that really cause people to quickly buy for a second, but they may not be your customers forever. Right. But if you're looking and you're measuring that, and you're not seeing any improvement or growth in your sales, so then the questions that you've got to start asking yourself are, number one, have I built know, like, and trust factor? And number two, have I worked on building authority and influence in this area? And if the answer is, yeah, I'm kind of doing it, taking it for granted, or I'm just kind of doing it on autopilot, then now I need to figure out how I can be more intentional in that thing. Right.
And let me add a rider on top of that. And this is the unfortunate part. You may be that expert, but if you don't have the consistency, you won't be the expert in the eyes of those that are watching.
Yeah. Wow. What else you got, man?
What did Reba say? I saw something.
Reba said, Reba sounds like she is related to you. She says she's so proud to tune in for this interview.
Reba is my publicist, believe it or not.
Oh, okay. That's like one of those. That's one of those mama and them statements. I'm so proud of you, Charles.
Yeah, she's been my publicist for a minute now.
Love it.
I'm trying to think. I'll be honest with you. I think when it's all said and done, people come up with their own takeaways, obviously, but the benefits, they can be numerous because everyone's end goal is different. Everyone's desired output is different. Sometimes, obviously, it's the finances. Sometimes it's just completing something. Sometimes it's really, it just varies depending on what a person wants. Some people just want to be in the mix among those that are doing a particular thing. So they pay their dues to get in that position. And that's so important. I truly believe that we are more intelligent than what we realize.
Yeah.
And thank you so much, Hesma. We are really more intelligent than what we realize. And it's really up to us to realize that, if I could say that, it sounds like an obvious statement, but to realize that in a way that we give ourselves the benefit of the doubt, that we say to ourselves that, you know what, I can do a particular thing. Now, am I willing to take the time to do it? And if I'm willing to take the time to do it, I know that I will be in that place with colleagues. I will be in that place with like-minded people. And pretty much that's what we all want. We want to be respected, appreciated for being a certain type of person, whether it's a personal, a professional, socially, or even recreationally. But give yourself the benefit of the doubt and pay your dues like most others do so that you can have those things that you want.
Yeah. Awesome, man. So this has been great. This has been great conversation as we kind of wind this down, and as we wind down our year, we've got to start asking ourselves those questions. What is it that we ultimately want? How do we want to show up? What are the things that we want people to see? What legacy do we want to leave? We've got to be intentional about this. This does not happen by accident, right? A lot of us are living accidental lives. And so we've got to start asking ourselves the questions, is my life accidental, or is my life intentional? If I say that I want influence, if I say that I want better relationships, if I say that I want to sell more, if I say that I want a more consistent business, am I willing to do the work, and am I willing to be intentional?
Absolutely. That's it right there in a nutshell. You said it right. Perfectly. Yes, sir.
Love it, man. Well, listen, we're going to be back again tomorrow at about 3 p.m. Are we going to be on the nose, or are we going to be 305? 305. Yeah, 305 tomorrow. So listen, it's been RK3 and SEC. We've been enjoying these sessions with you, and we just love hanging out and seeing all of the conversations, all of the different feedback, and we want to get connected with you even further. So feel free to tune in tomorrow at 3:05 p.m. on all of our platforms, YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook. And we're going to have some more conversations just like this. Hesma's like 3-ish.
Yeah, there you go. 3-ish, Hesma, no doubt.
Yeah. We'll see y'all tomorrow.
All right.